Alright guys, I'm actually not going into the volcano, nor the castle, nor the nosy dame. Charles will just have to marry Coco. No, this is not a joke. I'm seriously not doing this. You still here? You still here? You want me to go on a rant about this? Alright, let me tell you this. The volcano isn't that bad. It really isn't that bad at all. You play as Lil and you basically just go, it's basically your standard platformer. It's really, essentially very similar to the Rocket. Basically, you're just going around, turning off valves, and it introduces moving platforms, which does require a little bit of timing. There's platforms that actually move up and down, platforms that move left and right, a few ladders, so you can actually see some walking animation. I think that Lil and Chucky are the only one that actually have ladder climbing animation. Tommy, Kimi, and maybe even Dill probably have some unused climbing animation, but I would not know. It would be impressive if Dill has a climbing animation, because Dill's not even a toddler. Dill can, as Daisy once said, Dill can barely even crawl, but anyways, why am I not taking on the volcano? Like I said, the volcano really isn't that bad. There's really nothing special to it. It's really just a bunch. And yes, I did say volcano because that's what Angelica is referring it to, the volcano. It's really not that bad. It's really just Lil just going around turning off the valves. What I do hate is the castle. Now, once you beat the castle, you're immediately teleported to the final area, which is Nosy Dame Church. But Nosy Dame Church is possibly the third easiest level in the game. Easier than even, it's harder than the plane level and the rocket, but it's much easier than Ooey Gooey. But it's definitely easier than Ooey Gooey, the castle, and the dreaded Pony House. But the castle, which is the second to final level in the game, is hell. Basically, why do I hate it? Basically, you're play as Chucky and you're confronted by ninjas and the men in diapers. The men in diapers, of course, are sumo wrestlers, but they basically just throw rice at you, and every fourth time they throw rice, they drop the floor underneath you. This actually, the castle level requires very good timing, and basically you have to go around. It does not specify how many lamps there are, but you have to like go around and light up lamps. That way you can get rid of all the floors, because I guess it's too dark. Chucky would fall through the shadows. I guess that's what they're implying. But it requires a lot of precise jumping, which this just does not work on this game. They did like jumping very bad. I mean, guys, if you're gonna do some jumping physics, take some look at Mario. The jumping physics is actually much more than Mega Man, and from what I played of Mega Man games, Mega Man can't jump. Mega Man just can't jump like the Jump Man. It's Lame Man. And no, that's not a hero. I mean that Mega Man can't jump like the Jump Man, and that's a Lame Man. Okay, enough about jokes. You know what, I'll go into the volcano level, but after that, you do have a little bit of a break before you go to the castle. That way you can play the mini games. But if you want my recommendation, after going to the volcano, just stop playing altogether. Just stick to the mini games, and yeah, just don't bother with the volcano. All there is to the ending is that you get a message saying, "Congratulations, Chucky. He ended the wedding," and it shows a picture of Chucky and Charles holding the bag with a very poorly drawn Coco in the background. But anyways, you know what? I'll do the volcano level because it's not nearly as bad as the castle. I actually do like the Nosy Dame level, which is the final level of the game. No, there is no final boss battle like in the 3D games, but I will do the volcano level just because it's easy. But after that, I'm ending this LP. It's just gonna have to be an incomplete LP. I just can't stand it. You babies are in the middle of a volcano. See, it's not a volcano, it's a volcano. Don't worry, all you gotta do is turn off the valve making the pink stuff, which I think they're implying that to be lava, but it doesn't even hurt you. I think it's more like frosting on a wedding cake. That's my guess. Make it to the top and don't mess this up. So yeah, it's really just going around and hitting switches. I think there is a... There it is. There's the moving platform. You're playing as Lil here. And yes, that is a goo monster that I really can't avoid. Oh, there is... See, you can just barely make that jump. There's basically where the cranes can take you. You can actually ride the cranes. And you have to later in the level, you only have to hit like 4 valves. Let's turn them off. There should be a valve right here. There you go. You can actually see for a split second the flow of pink stuff turning off right before I turned around. So, okay, there's an energy that I can go ahead and collect. And you basically have to wait. Yeah, this level has a lot of waiting. The castle level also has a lot of waiting, but it also requires a lot of precise jump. Okay, turn that valve, and now I only have 2 valves to turn. And yeah, with the B button being your jump button, it really is a nod to the Mega Man games. Problem is... See, I'm not a fan of Mega Man because I don't really like the story. Second of all, it has very bad jump physics in my opinion. I gotta wait for this crane. Pop up on the other side. Now, I remember playing on the actual Game Boy Color cartridge with the system itself. Sometimes I would fall through the platform. I think that was just the card itself because it works perfectly fine in this emulator that I'm using to record. And as you can see there, yes, that pink stuff is indeed floating. They don't even bother to cover that up. Let's go ahead and... Oh, the moving platform is right there. Doesn't really completely get rid of the goo, but it lowers the level of it. It just stops it from flowing, I guess. I can never jump up there. You basically have to wait for the platform here. Which I seem to be lucky that they seem to be conveniently right there when I need it. Alright, that's all the valves. Now this one actually goes up and down instead of across. I believe that... Alright. I didn't fall through. Just walk up. And you stare at you, and she stares at you as if she's Sonic, and look, there's an enemy right where you can hit it. Let's wait for it to move away. And yes, you are seeing that animation correct. It is spitting up a ball, and you know I'll hit it anyways. You really can't risk wasting your time. Let's get up and try not to fall off. But really, if you're good at your jumping, this really isn't bad. Hey! Go back to Mario Bros, you blowy thing. swear, it's the fireball. It's the fireballs from the original Mario Bros. Arcade game. Not Donkey Kong or Super Mario Brothers. I mean, the original Mario Bros. With the, you know, turtles in the pipes. What you gonna do? Mario, where are you? I probably remembered that pretty badly, but anyways. Okay, this one actually goes back up as well instead of, you know, crossing over. See, I'm almost done with this and you've got plenty of time left. And with the castle thing, if you actually manage to get through it just fine, chances are you fell enough where you're down at your last health and... No! That actually happens all the time in the castle level. That's why I hate the castle level. Luckily I didn't take fall damage, but still, that's still a pain. Jump on the platform, wait a little bit longer, get Dill to stare at you impatiently, try to look cute. Dill, you weren't purposely one of the most disgusting characters in the show. No, they did that on purpose. Because, it's cute to have babies all disgusting and such. No, it's not. Don't believe me? Go ahead and watch an episode of Mega Babies. Thankfully, I never seen an episode of Mega Babies. I just heard that it was bad because I've seen a review, and jump when you're at the edge. Jump when you're at the edge. Now, this one actually does go to the other side. And see, you got like 3.5 minutes left, and you're already at the final stretch. Now all we need is to find the Ring of Power and toss it down here. Or the Exit of Power. That works too. Even babies, yes we know. And we get a password. Now you cannot go into the volcano again, you're going to the castle, and I kind of want to show what's in the castle just so you know what I mean. It has like really good music and pretty decent graphics, though pretty repetitive. You see like zucchini barrels all over the place. Aside from that, it's really, really terrible. Moving platforms, platforms that are just far enough that you can barely miss it. And of course, you miss it. I mean, it's just barely out of your reach, and you just can't... Most of the time, I just keep falling, and I fall like several floors, and ends up taking damage, and then I don't have enough time to make it all the way back to the top, and then I end up missing the wedding. Because, you know, Coco can't wait for Chucky to arrive. She's there saying, come on, please, I'll give you like $50 if you just go to the part where I get to kiss Chaz and the wedding is over and I get custody of the kids. But anyways, that's it for this Let's Play. I'm done. The graphics are okay. The music is actually very, very good. But the gameplay is terrible. There's too much of a difficulty spike between the volcano and the castle, and then it finally drops right back down after the castle because Nosy Dame is actually a very easy final level. This game is significantly easy, but just no. No, at this point, just go back and play as much mini-games as you can, because that's basically where your enjoyment ends. I'm sorry, but the castle is terrible, and once you complete the castle, you don't play anything else. You just go straight to the Nosy Dame and then straight to the ending. And there isn't even credits. You have to wait a little bit on the title screen to actually see the credits, because afterward it just gives you a password and there you go. I've heard that there are some extra stages where you can play as Dale, but I have never unlocked them. I think you have to do that on the higher difficulties. And I don't even want to play is still that much. I'm happy with just a plain ride. But, anyways, like I said, the music's good, the graphics are okay, but the gameplay is terrible, the difficulty is terrible, and I've had a lot of nostalgia for this, but actually playing through it again, it's really not, it's not that bad of a game until you reach the castle, in which case it's just terrible. I still say that this should totally up to about 1.8 out of 5 stars. And basically, in my opinion, once you reach down to a 2 out of 5, it's really not a game that anybody to touch. But this is a 1.8 out of 5. No, I'm not going into the castle. I've only beaten this game twice. Everything else, all this, is easy. The castle is awful. Way too much of a difficulty spike. You may say that, oh no, I'm just so wiggling, oh you just don't want to do this, oh you're just too scared. Well then, you do a recording. I would like you to... I haven't seen any Let's Play videos of this at all. I just seen demonstration videos. If you think that you can do this castle, go ahead, put a link in the comments or message me or whatever with you going through the castle and tell me that it's not that hard. Alright, I hate the castle, and I can't bring myself to hate this game, but it's a really bad game. And I can't blame anyone else if they also like this game. Because again, it's a terrible game, but I still like it nonetheless. It brings a little bit of nostalgia because this was one of the very first video games I played. In fact, it's the 4th video game that I ever played, the first one being Pokemon Red, and in between was actually games that my sister had, just a Mary Kate and Ashley game and a Buffy the Vampire Slayer game, but I don't have those carts anymore. Like, both of them are busted up and I can't even play them anymore. Pokemon Red and this game are really the only games I can play on the Game Boy Color anymore. But guys, this is it. I never want to go to the castle. I have already explained the ending. You just go to the castle. You know, you can only play as Chucky at the castle because, well, it is Chucky's mom. He should actually do the job. He's growing up. And Nosy Dame. And just the only enemies that Nosy Dame... Nosy Dame is really just you stepping on top of gargoyles and lighting them up while avoiding ninjas that are actually climbing up and down the towers. And once you activate a certain number of them, you can actually climb all the way back down and find that the church doors are open, so you can run in there and have Chucky say his first word, which is no! But Nosy Dame, if I can cut right to Nosy Dame, I will continue playing this. But with the castle, I'm done ranting on the castle. I think that I've said enough as there is. There's really no redeeming factor about the castle. Really, the background is cool and the music is cool, but aside from that, no. I'm actually ending the recording and turning the game off. That's the end. Sorry that it's an incomplete Let's Play, but I guarantee you this is the only Let's Play that you'll find on YouTube. And I recommend you, if you're okay with just doing mini-games over and over and over again, sure, it's a nice challenge. Just stay away from the final level. In fact, I'm going straight to the gates and getting out of here. Coco, you can have my dad. Wow! You can have Chaz. My dad? Nah. He has a wife. Good wife at that. I don't want Coco as a mom, no. And as soon as the clock hits 20, I'm ending it. See you guys in my next LP.